Myles Munroe's legacy is one that continues to be a source of inspiration to millions of people around the globe. He has inspired many to discover and walk in their God-given potentials. Here are the best inspiring quotes by Myles Munroe. 1. People generally fall into one of three groups: the few who make things happen, the many who watch things happen, and the overwhelming majority who have no notion of what happens. 2. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without a purpose. 3. Our life is the sum total of all the decisions we make every day, and those decisions are determined by our priorities. 4. Solid character will reflect itself in consistent behavior, while poor character will seek to hide behind deceptive words and actions. 5. Your job is your skill that they can fire you from at any time, but your work is your gift. No one can take that away from you. 6. Man is like an onion. His potential is exposed one layer at a time, until all he is known by all. 7. Nothing changes until your mind changes. 8. Healthy relationships should always begin at the spiritual and intellectual levels, the levels of purpose, motivation, interest, dreams, and personality. 9. Seeds of faith are always within us. Sometimes it takes a crisis to nourish and encourage their growth. 10. You must decide if you are going to rob the world or bless it with the rich, valuable, potent, untapped resources locked away within you. 11. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to watch potentials die untapped. 12. The value of life is not in its duration, but in its donation. You are not important because of how long you live. You are important because of how effective you live. 13. Success is not a comparison of what we have done with what others have done. 14. The picture that we have of ourselves, our self-concepts, will always determine how we respond to life. 15. The greatness of a man is measured by the way he treats the little man. Compassion for the weak is a sign of greatness. 16. You are not remembered for what you compromised for, but what you stood for. 17. Your job is where you get compensation for your activity. Your work is where you get fulfillment because you love it so much. 18. Life outside your ideal environment will destroy your potential because a wrong environment always means death. 19. I think that the greatest gift God ever gave man is not the gift of sight, but the gift of vision. Sight is a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart. 20. Never make a permanent decision in a temporary problem. 21. When facing severe challenges, your mind is normally at its sharpest. 22. We should not pursue money. We should pursue vision. We should pursue purpose for ourselves, for our country, and for our communities. 23. We shouldn't pursue things. We should pursue ideas. 24. If you have hope for the future, you have true riches, no matter how much you have in your accounts. 25. If you become valuable to the world will pay you to be yourself. 26. If you want to succeed, strike out on new paths. Don't travel the worn paths of accepted success. 27. True success is not a project, but a journey. 28. The best thing in life to do is not to regret and try to change what's happened, but to interpret it properly, maximize and use it to serve other people. That's what I want to do with my past. 29. Your purpose can be fulfilled only during the time you are given on earth to accomplish it. 30. Instead of waiting for someone to give you a job, create your own work. 31. Your job is what they trained you to do. Your work is what you were born to do. 32. The past is the past. Who or what we used to be doesn't matter anymore. What matters is who and what we are now, and who and what we can become in the future. 33. Junk is in the eyes of the beholder. Some look, but others see. 34. Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. 35. Every human heart cries and yearns for the same thing: a chance to fulfill his or her own dreams and desires. Even the poorest man has a dream. 36. When you believe in your dream and your vision, then it begins to attract its own resources. No one was born to be a failure. 37. Communication is the ability to ensure that people understand not only what you say, but also what you mean. It is also the ability to listen and to understand others. Developing both of these aspects of communication takes a lot of time, patience, and hard work. 38. No matter what type of leader you are, or how widespread your influence is, you face personal temptations, challenges, and stresses, and only a foundation of character will sustain you and your leadership. 39. The greatest act of leadership is mentoring. No matter how much you may learn, achieve, accumulate, or accomplish, if it all dies with you, then you are a generational failure. 40. Character in leadership is the most important balance for leadership. Without character, leaders have no safety. Leadership has no protection without character. 41. I think leadership is not something you learn, it's something you discover. 42. True leaders don't invest in buildings. Jesus never built a building. They invest in people. Why? Because success without a successor is failure. So, your legacy should not be in buildings, programs, or projects. Your legacy must be in people. 43. Leaders don't seek followers. Followers are attracted to leaders. 44. Leaders are pursuing a passion towards a purpose that gives them a sense of destiny. 45. Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, motivated by passion, generated by vision, produced by a conviction, and ignited by a purpose. 46. God's will and desire, His pleasure, is that we love Him. We cannot please God unless we love Him. We cannot love Him unless we know Him, and we cannot know Him unless we have faith in Him. 47. Don't ever make the mistake of telling God that you have nothing to offer. That simply is not true. God does not create any junk. 48. God never demands anything that He does not provide for. Whatever God commands us to do, He equips us to do it. 49. Submission is the willingness to give up our rights to ourselves, to freely surrender our insistence on having our own way all the time. 50. Prayer is our invitation to God to intervene in the affairs of earth. It is our request for Him to work His way in this world. 51. Circumstances and crises are God's tool to move you into your purpose and the maximizing of your potential. 52. You need to treat your finances as a resource God has provided to fulfill your vision, not a tool to fill your life with. 53. Humility is simply believing and accepting what God says about us, and God says that we are anything but worthless. 54. Don't judge your success by the masses and what they think of you. Judge yourself by what God told you to do. 55. We are not to be so concerned about who approves or disapproves of us, but remember that God's approval is what counts. Those whom God approves are approved indeed. 56. You are designed by God not to blend in, but to stand out. 57. God's purpose is more important than our plans. 58. Don't be a pigeon if you are born to be an eagle. Experience God's altitude for your life. I hope this quote inspired you. Like this video and subscribe to this channel for more life-changing content.